Why are there so many shows starring Muppets and dozens of movies too? They said they'd watch everyone and they mean it. It's something that they've got to do. So now they've pledged you a lifelong commitment. The Muppets, Matthew and Sam.
Welcome to Commitment, the podcast where two friends have vowed to watch all things Muppets. I'm Matthew Gatos.
And I'm Sam Schultz.
And this week we watched 3 more Season 4 episodes of The Muppet Show that aired in November 1979, featuring guest Victor Borge, Beverly Sills, and Liza Minnelli.
We're really just burning through Season 4, it feels like.
It feels like it, but I also look at when we're going to finish up The Muppet Show, and it feels a long ways away.
When is it?
It is currently slated for the end of August that we will be...
Oh my god, we have to do this all summer?
Oh, actually, no, beginning of September.
No!
We will not be finishing The Muppet Show until the beginning of September.
Oh, come on. There's only one whole season left, right?
Yeah, but
What the hell?
we've got some other stuff to watch and talk about during Season 5. The Muppets are about to do a lot of stuff, Sam. Basically, in looking through the Jim's Red Book, Jim's Journal website, it looks like the end of 1979 and the beginning of 1980 are a extremely busy time behind the scenes in the Muppet world as they prepare to move into things like the Great Muppet Caper and Fraggle Rock and all these things that are coming up in the early 80s. So, yeah, there's going to be a lot happening very soon, and we are going to suffer the brunt of it.
Well, that's okay. You gotta have some variety, you know?
We are also going to be doing our first ever Patreon live stream coming up on April 26th at 7 p.m. Mountain Time, because we live in Mountain Time. We're the two people.
Yeah, that's a good reason to do it Mountain Time. We're gonna even be in the same damn room.
We are, for the first time ever, doing a commitment thing. We will be in the same room.
For the first time ever, period. I've never met you.
No, never been within slapping distance of you. But we'll be playing some early Muppets Atari games, a mixture of some Sesame Street and Prime Muppets Atari games, and some Apple II games, and maybe some Commodore 64 games. It'll be fun. It'll be weird. The games will be bad. But if you want to come hang out and watch us play those, we're going to be doing our first live stream. You can sign up at patreon.com/commitment. It's only $4 a month. And yeah, it should be a good time.
My triumphant return to streaming. I'm charging admission this time.
But before we get to talking about what we watched today, Sam.
What?
Muppet Legos. They're out there in the world. People have them.
That's so weird. Because they haven't even officially shown them, have they?
No, we saw some leaked photos from some toy convention a while back, and then Lego just tweeted out a picture the other day of Kermit peeking out from behind a curtain saying nothing to see here. But they have not officially said, hey, Lego Muppet minifigures are coming. Here's when they're going to be on your shelves. Go buy them.
But somebody had them in their Target basket.
Multiple people I have seen on Twitter have found them at their local Targets. But it's, I went to our local Target yesterday. Unfortunately, no Lego Muppets in sight. So I've done the research.
Is that
for you,
why
Sam.
you went? Did you drop everything and go?
So kinda, but I also wanted a Starbucks. So
I'm also worried, Matt. I was concerned when you said that you didn't check all the places that they could have been. Did you?
I think I did. I checked all of the toy aisles, and I checked up by the registers.
Phew. Okay. Those are the places they would be. They're usually just up by the register at this point. They don't even bother putting them back in the toy aisle anymore.
No, they had... I was looking at the other areas of the blind bag minifig things as well, because they had an area where they had the Mario blind bag Legos, and they were just laying on a shelf. Like, they just had a bunch of bags laying on a shelf, not even in a box. And I was like, okay, so I need to be on the lookout for that kind of storage, I guess. And then they had an end cap where they had a bunch of other sort of blind bag Lego stuff. Didn't see them there. And also very creepily, slowly walked through the self-checkout area just to see if there was any hanging in there. There was not. So I'm going to keep checking. I could not find a clear answer online of when Target restocks their toys. I tried to find that out. Some people said every Monday morning. Other people said Thursday evenings. So who the hell knows? But yeah, I hope I can find some locally, but I also, I'm willing to shell out some money from Bricklink or whatever it is that I end up getting these through.
I always just give up and do that.
I also feel like we are in a pretty good position now that people are going to know we want Lego Muppet things.
Yeah.
And so if they have extras, they might come to us saying, hey, you want to buy my extra Gonzos?
Yeah, we might just show up in our P.O. box,
I mean, that would be the coolest outcome, but I'm not going to say that people should give them to us for free. I'm just saying that if people have extras and want to sell them to us first before putting them on Bricklink or eBay.
Sure.
That's also a great outcome.
I'm not going to say that either.
Yeah.
Wink.
But for now, let's talk about what we're here to talk about. Sam, what do we watch?
Oh my gosh, I feel like it came out of nowhere this time. It's November 1st, 1979. A crisp fall chill is in the air, so you put on a big scratchy sweater before you sit down to check out this week's Muppet Show, starring pianist Victor Borge. Everyone is pretty excited to have Victor there, especially Bobby Benson, whose baby band will be playing with him in the big closing number. Unfortunately, Bobby is arrested and escorted from the Muppet Theater by an undercover policeman in the middle of rehearsal. This leaves the rest of the Muppets to deal with the unruly babies, especially Miss Piggy, who takes them in an attempt to seem motherly, but that attempt goes horribly awry. Fortunately, Bobby returns to rein in the babies and lead them all in a triumphant closing number. The reason for his arrest and his quite quick release from custody is left concerningly vague, in my opinion. Standouts this episode include Victor, who is freaking adorable, especially in his act with Rolf. There's a great sketch involving the rats, who are kind of slowly growing to be more and more present in the show. A terrific UK spot where Gonzo duets with his reflection, and the closing number with the baby orchestra is fun. It's a good use of the babies. This plot, in my opinion, is a bit of a misfire because it's a little, maybe inadvertently creepy, which I'm sure we'll talk about more. And the first act is completely incomprehensible to me. I do not understand what they were going for. Victor Borge is a pianist and comedian, apparently nicknamed the Clown Prince of Denmark. He's
is he
Denmark's
a Batman
Joker.
villain? Yeah.
He was a performer in the 40s in Europe, and he was also Jewish, which in the 40s in Europe was an issue. So he moved to America and started playing radio gigs. In pretty short order, he was a big star appearing on films and television, and he just kind of seemed like a big, silly ham of a piano-playing man. And he had a very singular act, and he was a very singular dude who found his niche, and everybody loved it for decades. And he also popularized Cornish game hens in America, because he started a Cornish game hen farm or something like that.
That's where he made his real money, is in the Cornish game hen
That's kind of what it
market.
was implying. That he brought Cornish game hens to America, and somehow that made them popular. So thank you, Victor Borge.
For those tiny chickens.
Yeah. Next up, opera singer Beverly Sills joins the Muppets on November 8th, 1979, and everyone's gone high culture crazy. After a bumpy start where Fozzie accidentally has Beverly singing country music, she gets it together and starts auditioning pigs for her opera, Pigoletto. We also get some disconcerting opera singing chins, a lecture on microorganisms by Sam, and finally, Pigoletto itself, which is a pretty long opera skit that is basically a mashup of a bunch of other operas being sung poorly by a bunch of stage-hungry pigs. And also, not to mention, to kick it all off, we get Statler and Waldorf putting together an impromptu burlesque show for the opening act. Standouts this episode include Beverly. She's game and very funny. The opening burlesque show number is super great, and we get to see some fun behind-the-scenes action on that one. Then after the great opening, it's pretty great after that, too. Beverly singing country is pure Muppet Show chaos. Sam's lecture is unique and refreshing. And even the scary chins are cool in their own weird way. The only slightly dull spot to me was Pigoletto itself, which I thought was a little bit long. And also Robin does an incredible dance that made me truly love him now. Do you remember his little dance?
I don't.
Oh, we'll have to pull it up later.
Yeah, his dance did not stand out to me.
Beverly Sills was a very famous opera singer starting in the 60s. She appeared in several high-profile New York operas for a couple decades. Through that, she was on magazine covers, she did talk shows, all the regular famous people stuff. I think she was also famously a bit goofy and silly and humanized the image of the opera singer. And much like Victor Borge, she had a niche. She was great at it. Everybody seemed to love her. And she's also in the middle of retiring when this episode came out, or like had just announced that she was on her last season, which Muppet News alludes to.
Yeah, she had announced in 1978 that she was going to retire in 1980. So we are right in the middle in 1979 of like her retirement tour.
Her big farewell tour.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Also, that Victor Borge thing is, I looked at the Cornish Game Hen Wikipedia page. It says the musician and comedian Victor Borge was an early investor in and promoter of the concept, leveraging his personal popularity to transform the dish from an exotic menu item into a common household meal.
So weird.
Very strange.
Did you eat those ever when you were a kid?
I think I've maybe had one ever.
My mom would get them every now and then. In retrospect, I was thinking about this the other day, just coincidentally. Where were they coming from? I've never seen a Cornish game hen in the grocery store, have you?
Yeah, they definitely
have?
had them in like the freezer section. There's just like little
In the
ones piled up.
freezer section.
Yeah.
Ah, they don't got them where I go. You must go to a fancy grocery store.
I don't think Food Farm sells them.
Okay, yeah, that's all I do.
I assume.
Too grimy for Cornish game hens. You assumed. What is that even supposed to mean?
It just seems like a Sam store.
Finally, on November 15th, 1979, superstar Liza Minnelli graces the Muppet Theater, only to find murder afoot. See, the Muppets have decided to make tonight's show a murder mystery, so all the acts and songs are interwoven into a little plot where characters keep getting bumped off, and Kermit and Liza are trying to solve the case. In the end, it turns out that Statler and Waldorf were the culprits for some reason. And some of those murders were really grisly, too. Those guys are real sickos. In the end, though, everyone's okay. I think, I'm not really sure about those dogs in the UK spot who got axes to the head. That seems like a hard one to fake.
Yeah, if anyone in this episode deserves to die,
That's true.
I think it's them.
But poor Baskerville got an arrow right through that
Yeah,
dome.
he's good and dead.
Standouts this episode include, well, I thought the whole thing was pretty good. At the very least, it was a nice change of pace. Some of the acts were really good, like really good, I thought, especially Lola and that crazy song that Gonzo sang where Julius is going to heaven and everyone's dressed like an angel. I love that.
Yeah.
However, I did find that some of it dragged a little bit, especially starting with the song that Kermit and Liza sing. It's just so slow and sleepy and boring. Liza Minnelli is Liza Minnelli. I think there are probably like tons of books written about her and stuff, so I'll just talk about her up to 1979. She's the daughter of Julie Garland. She started performing in nightclubs as a teen, moved into becoming a recording artist, then moved to TV, and then she got into film. So now at this point, she's 33 and a good decade into her film career, having starred in lots of stuff, but most notably Cabaret. And she was about to be an Arthur with Dudley Moore, who we just talked about last episode. Elsewhere, this is a little part for Matt. Elsewhere in 1979, because he loves this shit, Heartbreak Tonight by the Eagles and Still by the Commodores, don't know that song, are burning up the Billboard Hot 100. Some other recent singles that I didn't talk about include Michael Jackson's Don't Stop Till You Get Enough, Heart of Glass, and My Sharona, because it's almost the 80s, baby. But disco is still hanging on because Chic, Donna Summers, and the Bee Gees all have huge hits around now, as does Gloria Gaynor with I Will Survive. I didn't know that all these songs came out so late in the 70s. That
They were
seems
still
wild to me.
clinging to that disco hope.
Well, these are like the best disco songs, which I guess makes sense. They've had a whole decade to really like work on their disco. They're really nailing it.
Well, and this was right around the time, I guess when they were producing this, was right around the time of the night disco died, which was the disco demolition night that happened at Comiskey Park in Chicago for some reason, where they just...
Because people are sexist and homophobic.
Yeah, that's actually the reason. But yes, they decided to kill disco in one night and make a big statement by bringing a bunch of disco records and burning and destroying them at a baseball field.
Very dumb. It was like a radio thing or something.
I believe so, yeah. But yeah, it ended in a riot. So, you know,
where
good
was it?
plan, guys. It was at Comiskey Park in Chicago where the White Sox played.
Oh, it was in Chicago?
Yeah.
I thought it was in Philadelphia. It seemed like a Philadelphia thing, doesn't it?
I mean, if you want to besmirch Philadelphia like that.
Matt, you've seen the videos I've seen.
Are you talking about the guy eating the horse poop after the Super Bowl?
That one, the one where the guy's riding the four-wheeler up the rocky stairs, the one where they're trying to climb the poles, but the poles are greased up, you know? They still climb the poles anyway, though.
Well, we have potentially an upcoming guest from Philadelphia on this show, and we can
tell
quiz
us all
him
about it.
all about Philadelphia.
Is it the guy who ate the horse poop?
I don't think it is.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it's not him, but we can ask him if that was him.
Wouldn't that be a great scoop, though?
Just
Like a great scoop of horse poop.
I feel
right
like
in
he's
your mouth.
gettable. I feel like we could get that guy if we wanted to.
He
He's
might
probably not
ask
in.
for a lot of money, though. You know? I feel like a really famous person would just be like, okay. But the horse poop guy would be like, I need $1,000.
Do you think he's on Cameo?
Yeah.
Just like
We can
horse
find
poop
one,
guy?
yeah. We could just have him be like, yes, no, ha ha ha. And then we could edit him in as our guest for the episode. Anyway, also movies I didn't talk about in the past couple episodes. Alien came out this year pretty recently, as did Apocalypse Now and Rocky 2. And in the real world, Jimmy Carter's still the president. The Iran hostage crisis has begun, and it would go on until I think 1981. And there's just lots of bad things happening in the Cold War and in the Middle East, but I won't get too much into it because I'm too stupid to.
Sorry, I was still distracted by Victor Borge and his chickens.
It's fascinating, huh?
Well, I found there's some book about the area he lived in, and there's this little piece that says Victor and Jim Hine opened their garage in 1946. So it's just like a gas station, and it still serves many locals today. They serviced trucks from the old 100 ice cream business during the night hours, so it wouldn't affect the business workday schedule. When I-84 was built, the Hine brothers repaired big mixers and sharpened monster drills. Currently, the business is operated by Ken and Jay Hine and Jay's wife, Laura. Richard Hine remembers comedic pianist Victor Borge once trying to barter his bill with his rock Cornish game hens. So I think Victor Borge just had too many chickens.
He is.
And
He
he's
made
like-
a big mistake.
He's like, so can I pay for this mechanic work with chickens, please? I have so many.
Little chickens.
I have so many little chickens.
The smallest chicken you've ever seen.
How many little chickens for a muffler?
So the way out of that jam was to make Cornish game hens extremely popular using his celebrity. That's a
Yes.
good idea.
He overbought on little chickens and needed to sell them off. So, November 1st, 1979 is the Victor Borge episode. Victor Borge also filmed 11 inserts for Sesame Street that started airing in season 9, where he was, again, doing kind of the same bit every time, just doing some...
Well, when I was reading the descriptions of his early shows, it was like he was always falling off his bench and always getting the cover slammed on his fingers and always playing music upside down. So he just he knew what people wanted.
Yeah, and I think you nailed it when you were talking about him in Beverly Hills, sort of bringing this high culture thing to the common man via comedy and showing that you don't have to take this stuff so seriously.
Uh-huh.
But what'd you give this episode, Sam?
I gave this one 3.5 stars, but in retrospect, I should have given it 4 stars. I just really didn't like the plot with Bobby Benson.
I also, I gave it 4 stars.
I'm going to give mine I'm going to change mine to 4 stars as
Gonna
well.
bump it up a bit.
Yeah.
I, for some reason, not knowing who Victor Borge was, like 10 seconds into this episode, I was like, I got a good feeling about this one. And I was right.
He's so good in it.
Yeah, he's like the perfect kind of like goofy old man that I feel like we've had goofy old men on this show before who sometimes are just there to do their own thing, like a Bob Hope. And
Right.
he's like the perfect, like...
Bob Hope was barely there.
Right.
In the plot and also in real life. It was just like, all right, you have 4 minutes.
Let's also film something for my show while I'm here.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Victor Borge seems delighted to be amongst the Muppets. And yeah, it just seems like a chill, fun dude to have around.
Yeah, Victor Borge seems like they'd show up next week and he'd be there again. Like, hey, I could be on the show.
Yeah. What if I just played piano? Me and Ralph just hanging out. We're
Love
friends.
that dog.
But yeah, we open up with Scooter and Victor talking in the back room, and we have the old...
Hi, Scooter. I love that. That was when I had a good feeling about it.
the moment he says hello to Scooter.
Scooter. Yeah.
But the bust of Beethoven is hanging out there and does not want Victor to play his own Beethoven music.
He's sick of that shit.
It seems maybe, in this episode at least, the Beethoven bust is actually the soul of Beethoven again.
And wasn't born a bust of Beethoven, yes.
No, it seems at least for this episode, the bust of Beethoven is the actual Beethoven.
Maybe this is a different bust of Beethoven. This one does have his ghost in it.
Ralph just bought a different one.
Yeah, the other one broke. That's why we haven't seen it in a while.
But yeah, in the opening, this one, again, just like small moments throughout this episode made me really enjoy it. One is that when Kermit comes out to say, it's the Muppet Show, he glances up for a second as if he's double checking the name of the show. Like he pokes his head out and he's like, it's the Muppet Show. And just like that slight pause and a slight glance up, it's like he maybe momentarily forgot what show he was doing. And then Gonzo gets murdered by the babies.
Yeah, it was just presaging something. And another little complaint I had was that I think it would have been fun if the babies had been more present in some of the acts, like they were just invading because there was no one to keep them under control, you know?
Yeah, if they actually...
I guess there's really only one act, after... Well, there's a couple. They could have been in The Swedish Chef, but there weren't that many opportunities for it, I suppose.
Yeah, if the babies were fully taking over the show, that would have been a nice de-evolution into chaos.
But then you would have had to look at the babies a lot.
Which, we never really want to.
You don't want to look at the babies.
No, you don't want to look at the babies. Don't look them directly in the eye. The opening number does feature pigs.
When he said, first we have an opening number, I wrote, this is going to be the pigs doing something offensive. I know it. And I was right.
Thankfully, not nearly as offensive as they have been in the past. I think it would even be a stretch to say that they're doing anything offensive.
They're doing something incomprehensible and stupid.
Yes. So they are dressed in leather. They seem to be a gang of some sort, singing Macho Man by the Village People. And at some point in the middle of the sketch, they go to war with Gonzo and his disco chickens.
But it's kind of a confusing war. I wasn't really sure what anybody was doing at any particular time.
Yeah, and if they're, I think there's a little bit there where they kind of are maybe mocking people who are into like leather for being sissies, because Gonzo yells at them for being sissies.
A bunch of sissies.
But
right?
I also couldn't tell if they were supposed to be like legitimate biker gang and Gonzo was being funny by calling them sissies.
Because he had a big purple hat on and was a disco man.
Yeah, so I couldn't really tell what the joke was.
Yeah.
And
there's lots of different ways this one could have gone.
Yeah. I guess maybe it's a good thing that it's unclear.
Yeah.
Because the more specific they get with the pig opening numbers, usually the worse it gets.
Yeah.
And the only thing I could really think of is that the Warriors had come out not that long before this episode.
Sure.
So maybe they were leaning on some sort of like gang idea.
Well, how did they miss the opportunity to make Gonzo into a baseball fury? Come on.
And I think the only thing that like made me think the Warriors is because when they finish up the sketch, Kermit says something about like good brawling, guys.
Yeah, great brawl gangs or something like that.
Yeah, and the chickens in their wigs. I was like, are they going for a Warriors thing? If so, it's kind of half-assed. But that's the only. I was trying to logic is like why this sketch exists.
That's a pretty good explanation. Macho Man was also a huge song around now.
Yeah,
had just come out the year before. Another confusing thing to me was the set. It's cool, but I don't really understand why they're on the roof. I wasn't really clear where Patrolman Fozzie was. Like,
yeah, they seem to be on like high-rise buildings, but yet Patrolman Fozzie seems to be on the ground level. But then also Link appears on the ground level at some point.
Right.
And so they are hopping around quite a bit.
I thought they were going to do a West Side Story thing when they were on the roof. So I was kind of like, oh, this might be interesting. Also offensive, but no more offensive than the original West Side Story movie was.
Yeah, you say that. I feel like the Muppet Pigs have the ability. Yes. They've been like, so we're doing West Side Story, but now we're this race instead.
What if we're really racist, though?
Yeah. So, thankfully, it seems like the seeds are there for it to be offensive to someone, but it doesn't quite go that far.
It wasn't very good either, I don't think, end of the day, personally.
No. I think, pigs in leather, there's something to that of like, are they wearing their own skin?
No,
the skin of their brethren?
Those are cows.
They're fine with murdering cows.
Yeah.
Then we find out that Bobby Benson is being investigated by the police. Yeah, this police officer sees Bobby Benson and asks to speak with him privately, which, doesn't surprise me that Bobby Benson's in trouble with the police.
No, none of this was shocking at all. Like, he doesn't declare he's a police officer in this little segment either. So it does seem like he could be like a baby salesman or something as well. Yeah,
no, I was wondering, because they do say they have seen that man on TV. Like, Scooter alludes to the fact that he's like, where have I seen that guy before?
Yeah.
And
To Catch a Predator was not a thing yet. But that was what popped into my head.
Yes, same. I was like, oh, he's going down for all of the like horrible like baby sales he's been a part of.
America's Most Wanted or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, it gets more bizarre than even this. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But this man just asks to speak with Bobby Benson privately, and Bobby tells Fozzie to watch the babies, and then the babies try to murder Fozzie as well.
Yeah.
They're pretty much just piranhas. They swarm the moment Bobby is out of sight. They just swarm and try to murder who's ever near them.
Like velociraptors in Jurassic World. And Bobby Benson's Star-Lord. He's got the little clicker.
Or they're like the little green dinosaurs at the beginning of Jurassic Park 2.
That
what
eat
the little girl.
The Comptheomyces or whatever.
Wow. If that's anywhere near close, I'm really impressed.
Okay, wait a minute. Little green dinosaurs.
Chicken dinosaurs.
Jurassic Park.
They are the Cornish game hens of dinosaurs.
That's true. Compsognathus.
Was that what you said before?
Compsognathus. I said Comptheomymus or something like that. I was close.
I think you're close enough.
I think it started with I think they call them compies or something like that later in the movie. Or something.
You're closer than I would have been, so 2 points.
I just watched that movie recently. That movie sucks.
Yeah, it is not nearly as good as the first one.
Of all of the Jurassic Parks, that one is the worst by a pretty wide margin.
The third one has a talking raptor, Sam.
Oh, but that's a dream.
You still has a raptor saying, "Hello, Ellen."
But it's so exciting to see Alan back that,
I was a strong defender of 3 when it came out.
Yeah, I thought 3 was pretty good.
But getting back to Muppets, next we have a lovely Jimmy Dean-esque segment with Victor Borga and Rolf.
All I could think the whole time was good for Rolf. He's back, baby.
And Victor Borga seems surprised to see him, but does not shoo him away. Mm-hmm. Victor Borga's coming out to play piano, and Rolf shows up, and at first just is going to observe, just wants to watch Victor Borga, see how he plays piano, and Victor suggests that maybe they play something together.
Taking a big leap assuming that this dog can play piano.
I mean, maybe he's watched the show. An interesting note about this sketch, apparently in an interview with a Danish magazine, Seoghor, I'm sure that's pronounced correctly.
You nailed it, I think.
Victor said that he could not sleep between 2 taping days, feeling that his performance of the Hungarian Rhapsody No. 2 with Rolf wasn't good enough.
What?
So the set was rebuilt the next day, and the scene was retaped.
Wow.
So yeah, he like demanded that they reshoot this because he didn't think it was good enough.
He really wanted to nail it.
Yeah.
Well, I was wondering how they did it, because were they both really playing piano?
I don't think so. My money would say I would bet on no. But there are times where it looks really convincing.
Yeah. Especially when Victor was playing. Like, he was synced up perfectly.
Yes, I don't know if they maybe taped half of it or what I think. I don't know. It's honestly, I don't know. Because it's like you see Ralph pushing keys down. Yeah. So noise would be happening. But I don't know if they had like a piano player off set, like playing music at the same time. Mm-hmm. Whatever they did, it's impressive. Whether or not somebody is actually playing piano as Rolf, or whether Rolf is playing synced up to an audio track,
right?
Who knows? But it's very well done. I'm assuming maybe somebody who actually knows how to play piano could look at that and go, "Dear God, no, they were not playing live. They are so far from the right keys."
I was using my trained eye, Matt. Come on. And
we get a lot of little delightful wordplay that reminded me of Jimmy Dean Rolf saying his Bach is worse than his bite. That
was very good. I think it'll haunt me forever, like wondering why Jimmy Dean never made his way onto the Muppet Show.
He was too focused on sausage.
Yeah, maybe so. I've stepped away from the limelight. If we can talk about my sausages, I will be on the show.
I think that's like still my number one sort of white whale of Muppet media that I hope we get to watch someday is the rest of the Jimmy Dean Show. Mm-hmm. Because we've only seen 40 of 100 and something episodes or something. We haven't even seen half of the episodes that exist. And so, if they ever want to start streaming or release the Jimmy Dean Show anywhere, immediately I will watch all of that.
Yeah.
Like obviously Sam and Friends and all that stuff would be great too. But specifically watching just endless hours of Rolf and Jimmy Dean being cute together.
Yeah, just everyone seemed the happiest that they've seemed in the entirety of this experiment of ours, I feel like.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you go back and you're like, it's wild that worked. It's wild that they did that at all, to have this puppet co-host of this countryman show. But they were also just leaning into it and going absolutely wild and just letting it be as fun as it could possibly be.
Don't hurt that Rolf's cute as hell also.
He is. There's a nice little moment after the Rolf and Victor sketch where they're walking backstage, and Victor points out that he was paid with a dog bone by accident, which Rolf is delighted by because he grabs it and takes it.
He said, I got a raise. Does that mean he doesn't get paid anything usually?
I was thinking maybe he was paid in tiny bones.
Ah.
Like this bone is bigger
a
than the average
large
bone that he gets.
Yes.
But for some reason, as Victor walks away, he's talking about how he's been paid poorly in the past, and he just grabs some flowers from the set.
Steals that flower, the vase of flowers. Yeah.
Yeah, he steals the flowers and walks into his dressing room, and what I'm assuming was maybe an improvised moment because it doesn't really make sense with what he's saying or what's happening in the scene.
Yeah, he's just got like this effortless, like funny, like goofiness to him that he's almost got like he's like a very mellow Steve Martin.
Yes.
None of the like manic mean energy, but just like the very subtle little jokes running throughout his entire life.
Next is when we find out that Bobby Benson is, in fact, being arrested by a police officer.
It's not stated why. We are left to wonder in our imagination what could possibly be the reason, which is part of the problem with this episode.
Yes.
We don't want to have to ponder that, I don't think.
No, because the payoff is also so strange that you don't believe it.
Yeah.
Or at least Sam and I don't. But yes, so once again, the babies are pawned off on another Muppet. This time, Miss Piggy is going to take responsibility for the babies.
But she wants to do it.
Yes, she wants to prove she is motherly to Kermit. Hint, hint, let's have babies.
Because they're in love at this point. Kermit loves Piggy. You can just tell.
He at least seems accepting of their relationship.
Yes.
If
he
not,
doesn't say, we'll never have babies. Like he would have used to be like, you scum. I spit on you. I'll never have babies with you.
He would have like threatened to fire her and then called her fat or something.
Yeah.
Like that's what season 2 Kermit would have done. But yes, so she does take the babies back to her dressing room and immediately reveals herself to be very spiteful of these babies. She does not like them at all. I get it.
Yeah, they're
these babies kind of
horrible
suck.
Ghouls.
And then an old friend sauntered into the scene, Sam.
Yeah.
Our old friend Catgut is back in this delightful rat number where the rats have taken over this attic and they're singing Hickory Dickory Dock at first, which turns into Rock Around the Clock.
Mm-hmm.
These are some very bug-eyed, creepy-looking rats.
There's some normal-looking ones in the background, though, which is weird. They have the Muppet eyes in the back, but they just have the black bead eyes in the front.
Yeah, we have not yet perfected that Rizzo-style rat. But there's a very good dancing rat who just bounces around with his legs flying around in the air, and then
that one makes the audience lose it too. I know the audience isn't real, but that does make them lose it.
I get it though. That's also my favorite rat.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, I think that's just a great highlight for these rats who have not yet really become a huge part of the Muppet Show.
Yeah, they really have like established themselves. They're like, this is who we are. We're little guys who do stuff. I'm excited for the rats to start like coming around.
Well, I believe we get the first named appearance of Rizzo in season 4, so we're slowly creeping up on Rizzo. As you alluded to earlier, Sam, the UK spot in this episode is delightful.
When I saw it, I thought, Matt's gonna love this.
Absolutely, it's Gonzo being weird, singing, and doing a thing that is almost, I think, it seems referenced to in Muppets Haunted Mansion.
Oh yeah, right.
Because Gonzo has a weird interaction with his reflection in that movie as well.
That didn't even occur to me.
But yeah, he's playing Act Naturally on the ukulele, which is just a delightful song as well. Yeah. But also throughout this, unsurprisingly, when you see a Muppet standing in front of a mirror, guess what? The mirror is going to be another Muppet.
It's pretty convincing, though.
Oh yes, the first edit is a little rough, but
they
do a good job of hiding the edits as the other Gonzo puppet starts to interact.
Do you mean when he gets his cowboy hat on, or a different?
I don't know if that's the first one, but yes, one of them is a little rougher than the rest. But yeah, he sings a duet with his own reflected other Muppet, which always just makes me think of like, oh, who was performing which one? Like, which one was Dave Goelz and which one was other Gonzo?
Oh, that's a good point. I would just assume he would be the one closer to the camera, but the other Gonzo was doing goofier stuff.
And we'll never know.
Yeah.
These are the questions that only Dave Goelz could answer if he happened to remember a thing he did like 50 years ago. But Fozzie does get a decent little number here with Victor.
It's all right. This just felt a little half-assed to me, I guess. Like Fozzie's energy.
Well, I also just feel like as Piggy's rise to fame continues, Fozzie's slide into obscurity
Yeah.
is happening.
It's kind of sad. He's kind of just bumming around. He seems a little grumpy, too.
I mean, yeah, he doesn't get to do anything anymore.
Yeah.
He could have watched the babies. It would have been fine. Like, I mean, yeah, they overtook him
They
pretty
did kill
quickly.
him already. But
Yeah, but he could have proved himself. Maybe could have been his story arc in this episode. Is by the end they love him. He's Uncle Fozzie. I'm keeping my fingers crossed that we'll have like some standout Fozzie episodes coming up. I feel like
yeah.
the nice thing about season 4 so far is that we are getting the occasional episode where they are, I don't know, really leaning into certain characters or letting certain characters shine in a way that they haven't before. And so I'm hoping we get more of that, and maybe they'll devote a whole episode to Fozzie.
Yeah, he's in this bear on patrol pattern right now, though, which is not my favorite mode of Fozzie.
No, not the best way to use him, because it is kind of a one joke thing, and they're not even like giving him full sketches. It's just like he shows up occasionally dressed as a cop.
Yeah, not even telling joke, really. Just
No.
kind of like, here I am.
Oh, I forgot to mention something about the Gonzo Mirror sketch, which I also loved. The very first thing that happens when the reflection is noticeably different, Gonzo is absolutely terrified.
Yeah.
He lets out a squeal that is so high-pitched that, yeah, I understand. You know, it would be scary if your reflection started talking to you, but I loved it. I loved his little high-pitched squeal he let out.
I loved when they touched their noses together.
Mm-hmm. But then we get to a Swedish Chef sketch where he's trying to make turtle soup, and the turtle keeps hiding from him.
The seeds of various Nintendo properties are sown, in my opinion. So first of all, you cannot convince me that Shigeru Miyamoto didn't see that turtle suck his arms and legs into that turtle shell and didn't think, and then see, I'm going to save that for later, and in a couple of years, make Super Mario Brothers. There's no way that I will not believe that that's what happened.
Haven't we previously theorized
Yeah.
that Miyamoto was watching the Muppet Show and came up with a different idea?
Yeah, but I can't remember. No, he was watching a commercial for 7-Eleven,
Oh,
and that's where
yeah.
Mario came from.
Okay, so he's watching a ham and cheese sandwich commercial from 7-Eleven. And
Uh-huh.
he's watching the Muppet Show.
Uh-huh.
Maybe he was just doing a version of Commitment back in the 70s where he was watching everything that existed at the time.
But the 7-Eleven commercial, oh, I guess he was watching The Late Show or something, The Tonight Show, and that's when he saw the 7-Eleven. He was like, oh, my boy Kermit's hosting.
I have
Gotta
to watch
check
that.
This one out. I gotta watch this one. Yeah, and then the Koopa thing. And then also, the turtle gets little tank turrets out of his back like Blastoise. So whoever made Pokemon also was watching this episode too.
Well, and if you think about it, eventually Shigeru Miyamoto, there's a thing that they do for Nintendo Direct, I think, where they get puppets of themselves made.
Yes.
And so
Yes.
there is like a Muppet version made by the Henson Company of Shigeru Miyamoto.
That was made by the Henson Company?
Yeah.
Wow.
So there is,
It's all coming together.
I think he is maybe at least a fan of the Muppets.
He loves the Muppets. He seems like a guy who'd love the Muppets.
I think you're onto something, Sam.
Yeah.
Maybe
But
not as
anyway.
much with the 7-Eleven thing, but maybe with the Koopas.
And then this is kind of scary too, because he comes out, Swedish Chef comes backstage with that gun, and he's like waving it in people's faces, and Kermit's like, "Whoa, that wasn't my fault." And that little moment felt so real to me. It's like what's going
for a second,
on?
he thought the Swedish Chef might actually be disgruntled and blow him away.
Yeah, and I think Kermit thought so too.
And this is when, inexplicably, Bobby Benson wanders back into the room. Somehow.
Very inexplicably.
Yeah, he apparently lost a lawsuit to the Tooth Fairy.
And I guess owed money or something. The story really doesn't hold together.
No, because basically he just comes in and says like, "Oh yeah, everything's fine. I just like owed some money to the Tooth Fairy." And so it's like,
Yeah.
okay, I don't understand why you like. What was the loan to the Tooth Fairy? Like, do you owe him baby teeth?
Yeah,
Have
my
you been
impression
hoarding
was,
it?
if you believe his story, which I
we
don't
don't.
for one goddamn second,
Not at all.
he was withholding teeth from the Tooth Fairy? From
Presumably,
the babies,
as these babies were losing their teeth, he was not passing them along.
which in this world is a legally actionable situation. But he's gone for literally 7 minutes. Just enough time to smash in the head of the police officer who is dragging him away. Or take out a concealed revolver and blow his head off, which is definitely what happened.
Yeah, I'm pretty convinced that Bobby Benson murdered that police officer. And if we go out to the alley at the end of this episode, we'd see some feet sticking out of a garbage can or something.
Trash can and stuffing everywhere. Bobby Benson could have been the star of the Happy Time Murders. He could have been the villain.
Sam, he could be. We don't know. We've never seen it.
Yeah, we've never seen it. Good point. But yeah, it's all very suspicious. The cover story is ludicrous. And it feels, I know it's not on purpose, but it does feel like it is on purpose that the whole thing is so like, this is weird. There's something that doesn't quite fit here.
No one really says anything.
No.
Like, they let it go. And I don't know if that's just, Kermit wants his show to continue. He wants everything to go as
Kermit
planned.
doesn't want to end up in the garbage can.
That's true. He does have a chef pointing a gun at him, and then he has a potential murderer on the other side of him. And he's like, you know what? I'm not going to ask any questions right now.
Yeah.
I
Kermit's
want to
found
keep
himself
living.
surrounded by some pretty tough customers. Running a seedy nightclub in New York, that'll happen,
He's like, I thought I just had like a joking bear and a weird like stunt guy, and apparently now I have actual murderers surrounding
and a
me.
man who has a bunch of babies for some reason.
Which, spoiler alert, guess who our Muppets of the Week are?
I honestly couldn't remember if we already talked about them or not.
We
have we
have
talked
not.
about Bobby, or is it?
We have not, and we're going to lump them together this week to talk about
Great.
Bobby Benson and the Baby Band all as
Okay.
one entity.
Well, maybe all will be revealed in Muppets of the Week.
There'll certainly be some twists revealed that I
interesting.
did not
Okay.
see coming in my research, but
Okay.
yeah. Then to end this episode, we do get a performance of the Baby Band Orchestra with Victor Borge, which is, it's just kind of cute. Not much happens.
Yeah. I think it's a fun concept to play serious music on baby instruments, and I like
Yeah.
when they do it. Didn't like when they did it twice in one episode, but this is once a season. That's great.
Yeah. And playing with like a classical pianist,
Mhm.
I think is the way to do it too. Not just like as your own number, doing the same joke twice.
Yeah, they really weaved him. Like, I feel like this whole set of episodes really weaved the guest star into sketches pretty well.
Yeah, I think they don't nail it quite as much with Beverly Sills as they do with Victor Borge,
Uh-huh.
but I do like that they found a way to make a guy sitting in his dressing room interesting. Like, he
Yeah.
is just, every time they cut back to him, just sitting at the piano waiting for someone to come in,
Uh-huh.
but it kind of works. I just wish
Yeah,
maybe
this
he had
dude's
interacted a
probably-
little bit more with the
probably been
backstage stuff.
playing piano. He's probably been playing piano nonstop for 70 years in real life anyway.
His hands can't not play piano.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, a pretty delightful episode. I think it's a surprisingly delightful episode. I always am pleasantly surprised when there's a guest I've never heard of in my life who ends up making an episode even better by their appearance in it.
Yeah, and this guy is basically like an old vaudeville guy. So it makes sense that he'd be having a hell of a time like on this vaudeville revival television show.
I didn't even mind his cold open where he stares at the camera surprised, which I usually hate. Because in this one, it was him being surprised by Beethoven speaking.
Yeah, that was fine. I didn't mind that either. I maybe don't usually mind that as much as you do, except sometimes the people who do it just do a bad job.
And sometimes I think the most egregious ones to me are the ones where it just feels like they didn't have a punchline. And so they're like, I don't know, just look at the camera. They'll be fine.
Yeah.
Well, before the next episode, something happened in the world of the Muppets. On November 3rd, 1979, Jim Henson went to the University of Maryland homecoming. Because
Why?
He was given the Distinguished Alumnus Award.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Or I guess the full name is the Distinguished Alumnus Award of Distinction.
Wow.
Yeah, and he served as the Grand Marshal of the university's homecoming parade.
That's fun. Did he have Kermit?
It doesn't say, but he's got to bring Kermit, right?
Yeah.
He apparently flew in from London for the weekend festivities. Like, he made a special trip because he was being honored at his old college.
Oh, well, that sounds fun.
There is no footage or pictures that I could find of that, but I do believe University of Maryland is where they have the bench with the Jim Henson statue that you can go sit next to. Then on November 8th, 1979, Beverly Sills was on The Muppet Show. I think, again, a delightful episode. Some other things about Beverly Sills before we get talking about this episode. She contributed a recipe to the Miss Piggy cookbook, In the Kitchen with Miss Piggy, that came out in 1996.
Love to see it.
It's for foolproof hollandaise sauce.
Okay. Very old-timey, what I would expect from someone like her.
Oh boy, that recipe book is full of the most old-timey recipes that...
The most nasty 70s food you could imagine.
Which is like funny because it came out in the 90s and the photos in it are
It came out in the
incredibly
90s?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But the recipes in there all are those things that your grandma would say, we ate this every day for dinner in the 50s. And you're like, yeah, but you should probably leave it in the 50s.
Yeah, but it's a big can of lard inside of a Jello mold.
Yeah, we have not yet made anything from that cookbook. I do own it, and a couple
Hey,
times
that could be one of our live streams.
There we go. We can cook, Sam. Well, maybe we'll dive into that on one of our Patreon live streams and try to make something out of there. But yes, I also did not know who Beverly Sills was before watching this episode, but I did enjoy it very much. I gave this episode 3.5 stars.
I gave it 4.5 stars.
Wow. All right.
The only part I didn't like was Pigletto.
There's a couple things in here that, I don't know, I did not enjoy. There's some things that absolutely disgusted me. Sure. Some other things that just dragged on a little too long, I think.
You shouldn't have to look at human teeth that close for that long.
Yeah, no, it's real bad. I literally typed in my notes, no, worst thing I've ever seen. But we'll get to that. To begin with, Beverly Sills shatters Scooter's eyes when she hits a high note.
Which is alarming, because they do read like his eyes. So
Yeah.
it's kind of scary to see them explode.
Yeah, at this point in Muppet Dumb, we have not yet seen Scooter's eyes without his glasses.
His little tiny eyes behind him.
Yeah, we see that in the 2015 Muppet series, but I don't know if we see that any time before then.
I think you maybe see it in Muppet Babies. I feel like I remember him removing his glasses in Muppet Babies, but I'm not 100% on that.
But at this point, it has pretty much just been his glasses are his eyes, and Beverly Sills shatters them, which is alarming.
Yeah, he's got to go to the hospital now.
And then this episode opens with a big can of yikes.
Sure does.
We had a content warning at the beginning of this episode, which is not rare in the Muppet world, and sometimes I think even doesn't show up when it should.
Definitely.
We've definitely had episodes that feel like they deserve a content warning and don't get one.
Yeah.
And sometimes when we get the content warning, we watch the episode, and even after we finished it, wonder, I wonder if that's what got it, or did this get it? It doesn't seem like anything's really that strongly offensive. But this one makes it extremely clear.
Yeah.
Immediately.
This one happened, and Rachel was in the other, like she was in the kitchen, and she said, "That's probably the part that got the content warning, huh?" Yeah, I think so. Hopefully this is the, like, not that this is good, but hopefully this is the extent of what gets at the content warning.
Yeah, they went real hard, real fast on this content warning because Statler and Waldorf complain about the opening numbers being too weird, which, I mean, if anything, they could complain about them being too racist.
Being shitty and racist, yeah.
And apparently that was going to be the trend for this episode because they say, "What do you have tonight? A Chinese gorilla dancing ballet?" And Kermit realizes, oh, shit, that was our opening act. Yeah. Cancel the Chinese gorilla dancing ballet, which, you know, if he had just said that and nothing happened,
I would have gone, huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
But instead, we, of course, get a gorilla coming into the scene just as a ballet dancer speaking mock Chinese. It's clearly, I believe, Jerry Nelson doing it in a horrible stereotypical accent. And yikes is, that's all I wrote in my notes was yikes.
Season 4 has had a couple pretty bad ones so far.
Yeah, like surprisingly, like I feel like there's less overall as far as like stereotypes and racist tropes and things. But when they do it, they really lean into it.
Yeah, and they feel so old timey. They feel like 60s things. Like, these dudes are out of touch.
Speaking of out of touch, old dudes.
Yeah.
The next number turns out to be not as creepy as it first seems like it might be.
Yeah.
But we have Statler and Waldorf suggesting their own opening number, which is to perform the song "Take 10 Terrific Girls, but only 9 costumes." Because one of them gets to be naked. But what this turns into is Statler and Waldorf producing, directing, whatever it is, an opening number that's a burlesque number, like an little vaudeville throwback number.
Yeah. It's more a chorus line than a burlesque. No one's taking their clothes off, really.
We do see one Lady Whatnot Muppet in...
It does seem like an accident, though.
Yes, in some underwear, where she is clearly the 10th girl without a costume.
Yeah. This feels like the end of the Muppet movie. Like, it's a very similar vibe where they're, like, running around, where Statler and Waldorf are running around being like, okay, push that over there. Hey, get this light pulled up to the ceiling. I loved it. Yeah,
we get to see Beaker and Beauregard playing stagehands. So is Rolf, actually. He is moving a light at one point, I believe.
Yeah, and you see him from so far away, you can see the person underneath him. Did you catch
I
that?
did not notice that.
You can see him and his whole drapey body over a person, and then underneath the drapey body, you can see the bottom of a blue shirt.
Oh.
And then quickly, like a piece of scenery comes in to cover him up, but it was like they blew their timing a little bit.
We get to see Statler and Waldorf in their delightful vaudeville costumes again. And we get confirmation, which I think is the first time this has really happened, at least with Statler, that Statler and Waldorf are their last names.
Mr. Statler and Mr. Waldorf. Yeah.
Which we had seen Waldorf called, I believe, Conrad Waldorf in the Des O'Connor Entertains clip when he was very first, his very first appearance. But we've never, I believe, had reference to Statler having any other name other than Statler, be it first or last name. So
do we ever? Did
I
you
don't
look
think
into
so.
it at all?
I don't think we ever hear anything about their names again outside of Statler and Waldorf. I don't think Conrad Waldorf comes up ever again. But this sketch wraps up with Fozzie turning the tables on Statler and Waldorf and starts heckling them from the box.
I thought that was great.
It's very good.
And then my favorite part was at the end when Kermit comes out and Statler and Waldorf are back up in their box and they start heckling their own number that they just did.
Yeah.
Like, why can't you do more numbers like that? And Kermit says, we literally just did. And then they say, oh, well, that wasn't very good either. Boo, boo.
Yeah.
That was so funny.
They boo their own sketch.
Yeah.
That they completely came
They're
up with.
dedicated to the bit.
Then we get a small little moment that leads to Fozzie being the one who has to introduce Beverly Sills on stage. And that small little moment is Scooter telling Kermit that his bike is being stolen.
I'm nervous for Kermit riding around New York City on a bike, though.
I could see him being a cute little bike messenger on the weekends, just like that freaking JGL movie, whatever that was called. Premium Rush?
Premium Rush.
Is that
That's
the name of that movie?
Yeah.
Wow.
Rush.
How did I pull that out? I've never even seen that. My brain's broken, Sam. That's the kind of like details my brain keeps, is a 10-year-old movie that I've never seen. For some reason, my brain still knows the name of it.
No math or anything like that.
No. Algebra
Premium
schmalgebra.
Rush.
Give me Premium Rush.
A lesser Joseph Gordon-Levitt film.
But Fozzie introducing Beverly Sills incorrectly as Bev Sills, the country singer.
One of the great country singers of country and western music.
Which I felt like a grand old opera joke was like right there on the tip of everyone's tongue, and it never happened.
That's true.
But Beverly Sills leans into it and goes, you know what? This is what they want me to do. I'll sing some country.
This is like what the Muppet Show is all about, in my opinion.
Yeah, she starts singing the country song, but in her operatic voice.
Mm-hmm.
I love the guest star who just goes along with the weirdness.
Yeah, and I think like it bothers me when so much of the Muppet Show is musical, and that bothers me sometimes, but I think I've realized that it bothers me when they're just singing a song. Like, this doesn't bother me because it is a skit that is disguised as a musical number.
Yeah, this felt to me very much the kind of thing they would do on Muppets Tonight, where they take a musician and have them like famously sing a different genre that like you would never imagine them doing. But this is, predates the Muppets Tonight by like 20 years.
And Lubbock Lou comes back.
Lubbock Lou and the Jug Huggers are all back to perform in their
Lou.
rightful place.
Lou was not invited.
One of the Lou's is not there. But this also at one point switches to a tap dancing number. Once Fozzie finds out that she is not a country singer, he suggests she pretty much just stretch out the time and go, do you know how to tap? And she's like, I do know how to tap.
Do I? Yeah.
And I realized my first watch through of this, I was like, this is going on for a really long time.
Uh-huh.
And what happens is, Sam, I have this disconnect with any kind of dancing, be it in movies, real life, whatever, where I can never appreciate it properly because I don't know whether it's good or not.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel
That makes
especially
sense.
with like tap dancing in movies, I can never tell if they're actually doing a good job of tapping or if it's just fake tapping and it's supposed to be the joke is that they like don't know how to tap. And so I'm always just like, I don't know how to feel about this.
I'm right there with you. I felt like this was good because it seemed like rhythmic and in time with and like it was like making a little ditty with her feet, but also it was probably fake. I have no idea.
Yeah, I got no clue. But yeah, I think like that for me was just one of those where it felt a little long, but I think it was very, very good. Unsurprisingly, Miss Piggy wants to join the opera, but is told she will have to audition, which she handles surprisingly well.
I think she understands. It's not Kermit who's making her audition.
Yes, so
It's it's opera star Beverly Sills.
You can't karate chop an opera star. Then we have, I don't know, kind of a weak Gonzo bit, I think.
You sick man. I loved this.
Tell me what you loved about it.
I think I liked this one because it set up a nice little thing with Sam as like the dichotomy of Sam and Gonzo, and it was kind of a hidden nice little character moment too, where you get like, this is what makes these guys different, and gets Sam all wound up. What did you not like about it?
I just feel like Gonzo, I felt like hanging spoons on his nose is like beneath his normal level of art form.
Maybe it was new in the 70s, Matt. You don't know if people were doing it before 1979.
It felt like they were treating it like it was a new thing.
Yeah.
But like by the 90s, we were all doing this at the lunch table.
Maybe we all learned it from Gonzo, though.
I don't know if he's got the perfect nose for it or the worst nose for it.
I think he's got a better nose than a human. I think the concavity of it, convexity, whichever one is the right one, makes the spoon would make the spoon hang easier. When I guess a nose has a little knob on the end. I don't know. We'll boop Rolf's nose. I'll take a little bite. Then we'll go to Gonzo and do some spoon hanging experiments.
And then it happens, Sam. It's time for the UK spot. And as delightful as the UK spot was in the previous episode, this one went a 180. So we have Jerry Nelson and Jim Henson. Actually, their faces are half on camera because I don't even know how to describe this, Sam. They've turned their face into puppets.
Yeah, it's the upside down mouth. Your chin is a puppet thing. Yeah, everybody's seen this before.
Yeah, they put an eye and nose on their chin below their bottom lip, and flip their heads upside down. And so it looks like their mouth is the puppet's mouth, and their chin hair is the hair of the weird monster that's singing.
Yeah, they got arms on the sides of their heads, and they have big kind of like ceremonial military outfits that are over the rest of their head, their faces. And they're just two furry little, they look like Chicken McNuggets, but really disgusting Chicken McNuggets.
And they're called the Fuzz Brothers.
Yeah.
And thankfully, we'll never see them again.
We won't. They get a whole special name and everything.
Yep.
One thing you don't see with these upside down faces very often is a beard on them. I feel like that was a disgusting extra wrinkle that maybe we didn't need.
I felt disgusted with myself that I knew whose beard was whose.
I also felt that way too.
I was like, oh, that's Jim and that's Jerry.
I could tell Jerry from his voice. Jim I was a little bit more iffy on, but I knew that the rest of them, I don't think anybody else really has a goatee, like a beard like that, do they? Frank maybe does it.
I think Dave Goelz maybe had a beard at this point.
Okay.
But yeah, I think you get very close to their beard and their teeth, and you're just seeing a lot of them. And the puppets themselves are kind of ugly. With all their weird garb they're wearing.
I thought they were kind of cool again.
Oh, man.
At the end of it, I was like, this was a nice new thing. This is the first new thing they've done in such a long time, it feels like.
Yeah. This was actually one I was afraid that you were going to like. I was like, something tells me that Sam might enjoy this.
I thought it was cool. But their teeth are weird looking. Their tongues are weird looking. You get to really look at them for a long, long time. And then at the end, maybe the most horrible thing I've ever seen. One of their outfits does dip below their nose, and you can see his nose inhale where this creature's neck is, which is horrifying.
He's got his little neck holes.
Ugh, that part's really disgusting. The whole thing is disgusting, but it's disgusting in a way that I appreciated.
Unfortunately, there's not a behind-the-scenes image of this sketch on Muppet Wiki, because I would love to see just Jim and Jerry wearing those puppet masks walking around the set.
I thought it was kind of interesting, too, because it took me a minute to figure out what even the hell was going on. Like, you're so used to not seeing human faces, except for the guest star. But to see that, and then I was like, what kind of puppet is this? Oh, that's a disgusting beard. I see. Luckily, America was spared the Fuzz Brothers.
Yeah, they didn't have to see the terribleness of the close-up of Jim's mouth. We get a little weird segment in here where a bunch of animals have joined around Kermit to share their favorite opera puns that they've been working on.
Yeah.
And it's very bizarre because they all just like come in. They're like, hey, You got Pigletto? I got an opera for you. How about this cow pun? How about this horse joke?
It is a flimsy reason to come bother Kermit for sure.
Yeah, it's like they were in the back room just like trying to think of these jokes and like, let's go tell Kermit. And they're like, no, he's going to hate this. He's like, I don't care. Let's go freaking tell Kermit. Because they're not, like, it doesn't feel like they're really trying to get those shows made.
No.
It seems like they just want to bother Kermit.
Yeah.
Because even when Robin makes his joke at the very end, he very clearly is like, hey, Uncle Kermit, I got one too.
I have a joke too. Yeah. I loved Robin in this. It was very cute. But I liked the concept that these animals have their own dressing rooms as well. Because he's like, get back to your dressing rooms. How many freaking dressing rooms do they have in the Muppet Theater? Hundreds and hundreds.
So I recently was trying to find a blueprint of the Muppet Theater. Mostly because Unreal Engine 5 came out, and I was like, what if I got really into Blender and Unreal Engine and tried to like make a 3D Muppet Theater that you could walk around in VR?
I'd be worried about you if you did that.
Yeah, I don't have that much free time. But if somebody out there has the free time and wants to make that, I would love to see it.
That'd be cool.
In trying to find a blueprint, the only ones I found had some rooms that were sort of like extra dressing rooms, but definitely not as many dressing rooms as is alluded to on the show.
I feel like it's got to be the whole building has been repurposed to be the Muppet Theater. Like they live there and work there in some cases. These cows and stuff ain't getting on the subway every night. Yeah. Except that is Gladys. I'm standing by that. That's definitely Gladys from Sesame Street. So she and Kermit, they ride their bikes home together.
Does she have a bicycle built for two, though? And she just rides it by herself?
Yes, that's it.
Because she has 4 hooves?
That is how it is.
Okay.
Oh, perfect. And she steers with her mouth.
Then we have an episode of Journey to the Microcosmos in the middle of a Muppet Show. My worlds were combining. For those that don't know, I am the producer on a YouTube channel called Journey to the Microcosmos. That's all about microbes and things under the microscope. And it's kind of like this. It's trade out Sam the Eagle for Hank Green and cue the delightful background music. And that's pretty much the show.
Hank's not as mad at the microorganisms as Sam is mad at the
No, he's more delighted.
Yeah.
But other than that, pretty much the same thing. We get Sam the Eagle looking through a microscope, or I believe he calls it a doohickey. Mm-hmm. And we see Kermit the Protozoa and Fozzie Amoeba performing some old jokes from vaudeville days.
And they're quite scary, but also very cool.
Yeah, Kermit the Protozoa has just like some weird spirally eyes for some reason. And just looks like a blob. And then Fozzie Amoeba is Fozzie's face just on this weird starfish kind of body. Yeah.
It's like as if Fozzie was infested by the Thing.
But it's very cool. I kind of wish it had even gone on longer because it is such a weird premise.
They always do these kind of things for too long, but they didn't do this one for long enough.
Well, and it seems like something you could bring back and have other, Piggy the Tardigrade kind of thing or something.
Ooh, that'd be
and like different microbes of Muppets. But this is the only time we'll see this.
And there's no more Muppet University either?
I don't think so. I was looking that up, and this is the only one I could find. And we, if you do want to see part of the Fozzie Amoeba puppet in real life, you can apparently go to the Center for Puppetry Arts in Atlanta, and they have just the face section on display.
Ew. Why? That's so weird.
I'm guessing maybe the rest of it didn't hold up very well or something, but you can go see the face if you want.
Huh.
Kermit also alludes to the fact after this that Kermit the Protozoa was really good in that act.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if they're saying Kermit was playing the Protozoa in the previous sketch or if there is a Kermit the Protozoa also there who was a part of that sketch.
No, I got the impression that Kermit just liked him because he reminded him of himself.
Right. And that's what
a different entity.
I read that as well. But I was trying to, I think that was too disturbing for me to think about of like, oh, so Kermit's here and also Kermit the Protozoa is hanging out as well.
Yeah.
So I tried to
Nothing
get them.
wrong with that.
I guess not. We have Kermit the Pig walking around out there somewhere.
Yeah. Nothing's too horrifying anymore.
And then it is time for the closing opera number where, similar to the Camelot sketch that they did a while back, they just combined a bunch of operas into one.
Unsimilar to that, I was barely able to pay attention to this one.
It actually helped me when I turned on the captions for this because a lot of the operas, they are singing their own lyrics, where they are singing either about opera or they are apologizing for the previous singers of opera.
Right.
And I also enjoyed that in the background of this sketch, you get to see skylines from Rome and Egypt and Moscow
and Russia. Yeah,
yeah.
That was pretty funny. I liked seeing Julia Strangeport get to do some stuff that besides be on Swine Trek. I thought that was fun.
Yeah, especially in the Liza Minnelli episode, he really gets a...
Oh, yeah, he gets like a whole speaking role and everything.
Mm-hmm. It shows that he is actually, a performer on this Muppet Show and not just a guy who thinks he's really on a spaceship or something.
That would be sad. Yeah.
But yeah, that pretty much does it for the Beverly Hills episode. Overall, a great episode, I think. That just has a few weak spots for me personally. I know Sam liked it more than I did.
It was very close to 5 stars. I just had a few moments of lagging attention and the singing gorilla. Not good.
No. Then, before the next episode aired, another thing that happens in the world of Muppets on November 11th, 1979, Jim wrote in his journal, "In L.A., movie meeting with Jack Rose, Jerry Jewell, Frank Oz, and Joe Raposo." So this is the earliest reference I could find in Jim's journal, alluding to them working on The Great Muppet Caper.
Joe Raposo wrote the music for that?
He did.
Okay.
And The Great Muppet Caper will come out in 1981.
Huh.
So they're starting to work on it now.
They'll be starting to film it any day now then.
I believe they film it in 1980.
Okay.
So about a year before it comes out. But apparently, they were working on it slightly earlier than this because Muppet head writer Jerry Jewell was the first person to take a crack at the script in September 1979. So at this point, they had the idea and they were working on a script. But from what I was reading, that script pretty much got thrown in the garbage at a certain point. And they were like, this isn't working. Let's start over.
Was it The Great Muppet Caper at that time, or was it something completely different?
I think it was kind of the bare bones of what would become The Great Muppet Caper. I don't think they completely redid it, but I think they were like, we need to start over on this idea.
Do you like that movie?
I do. I haven't watched it in a while, but from what I remember, I enjoy it.
I'm interested to talk about it. I like it too. It just is a little shaggy.
Yes, I think it is. I think I prefer Muppets Take Manhattan, which I know you have not seen yet. But I think I prefer that and the Muppet movie both to Great Muppet Caper. But I think Great Muppet Caper takes some big swings in ways that the other ones don't. So yeah, no, it's coming up though. We'll get to talk about it in the not too distant future. Then on November 15th, 1979, the Liza Minnelli episode of The Muppet Show airs. We will see Liza Minnelli again in Muppets Take Manhattan, very briefly. And we previously discussed her because she was the headliner of Hello, Here is Berlin.
Right.
But we didn't get to see her part, so we just got to see a weird part with the Harlem Globetrotters.
Man, she's famous, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Is she one of the most famous people they've had on by a long shot?
I mean, to us,
currently
for
famous
sure.
people?
Yeah, I think so. But yeah, I think as Kermit alludes to at the beginning, he says someone truly worthy of the term superstar.
Yeah.
And it's worth noting about this episode, it won a few awards. So director Peter Harris received an Emmy nomination for outstanding directing for this episode, and the editor won for outstanding videotape editing.
Oh, the last episode got nominated for a couple Emmys as well.
And this episode also got the attention of the Mystery Writers of America, who in 1980 gave it the Raven Award, which is given for outstanding achievement in the mystery field outside the realm of fiction writing.
Not really a very good mystery, so they must have been desperate.
Maybe. But this episode opens up with Scooter coming in as he normally does to let Liza Minnelli know. She's only got a little bit of time before curtain. And then Scooter falls down dead with a knife in his back. But thankfully, it's just a rehearsal. Scooter's not actually dead.
I was shocked at first.
It was bizarre, yeah. Like you do not see that coming.
Do they do this, do you think, so that you know that they're not all being murdered in the rest of the episode?
They need to have like 3 times that they allude to this being fake. So it's like,
yeah,
if any kids are watching,
don't
Scooter's
worry.
not dead.
We know that we've formulated some unsettling imagery, but it's not real.
There will be gunplay. There will be many a murder. There will be poisonings. Many Muppets will die today. We're sorry.
Oh yeah, the poisoning scene. The Statler and Waldorf have a huge body count. Dozens of Muppets.
But it's also confusing. We'll talk about this at the end. What is the fiction here? Who is murdering whom? Are they part of the play? Were they actually trying to murder Muppets? It's kind of confusing.
Yeah, it's unclear for sure.
But thankfully, Scooter was just rehearsing for the upcoming play, and Kermit's about to introduce this play, but realizes, shit, I'm in the first scene. I gotta go get ready. Scooter, you introduce it.
This seems to often happen to Kermit. He always forgets he's in the first scene.
Yeah, I mean, when you become like the host of a show,
Yeah.
you forget that you sometimes have to, contribute other parts of it.
Is that a dig at me?
It was not at all.
Oh, we didn't say what we rated this episode.
What'd you give it?
3.5.
Wow. This is a 5-star for me for sure.
I was more excited for this one than I was a little disappointed in the execution.
To me, this is a 99% perfect episode.
Oh, interesting.
The 1% being the UK spot. But the episode opens up with Liza O'Shaughnessy coming into Kermit the Frog's private eye company that he runs here.
Mm-hmm.
Kermit is a private detective who uses, he calls her Sweetie and Toots. And
He sure does.
he's a throwback to the old 40s, 50s gangster style private detectives.
Yeah. He doesn't pull it off very well, I would say.
No, but
He
I think
seems
that's
very
part of the joke.
self-conscious.
Yeah. I think he's it's as if Jim Henson was cast to play a gangster.
A cool guy.
Yeah, he would not be able to pull that off.
No.
But yes, this entire episode is done within a play, sort of like the Robin Hood episode, but even more of a commitment because it is just like the play is happening for the entire episode.
Uh-huh.
And so all of this is happening as a show that the Muppets are putting on for the audience. And within that, we find out that someone named Gladys is the first victim. I don't know if this is supposed to be the same Gladys.
But also there's a costumer.
So probably
and
not.
Gladys is not the costumer, right?
I mean, but Kermit's also not a detective. So maybe in this
That's
fiction,
true.
Gladys could be playing a costumer.
And this was their excuse to really bump her off.
Or they just like the name Gladys and they forgot because they also have a Gladys cow. So I think they just
That's
like the name
true.
Gladys.
Much like they've named 5 characters Lou in the course of 1 month.
Yeah, and they'll have a couple Nigels and they kind of forget, or not really forget. I don't think they care that they're naming characters the same thing. But the mystery begins because someone has said that if they don't shut down the show, everyone dies. And so Liza O'Shaughnessy, obviously played by Liza Minnelli, comes to Kermit the Frog to solve this mystery. I feel like I have a lot to say about this episode, but it's also a very hard episode to talk about because it all is one big sketch.
Because everything's part of it.
We start off with a very slow number of Liza singing Alone at a Table, the opening to Copacabana, but then it transitions into Lola, the dancer, also played by Liza Minnelli, dancing around with the feathers in her hair, with her boyfriend, who is played by a mutation in this scene.
And then her rival, who's played by a guy who looks like he'd be like a cereal mascot in the 60s. What the hell is this guy's deal?
Yeah, so we get a new character introduced in this episode. His name is Rico in this sketch, who is the rival to Tony, who is the mutation boyfriend. And Rico is played by a Muppet troll, apparently. There's a few Muppet trolls that were designed, and we will see them later on. We will see Rico again. I don't think he's called Rico this time, but we will see that troll a couple more times in the Muppet Show, and we'll see a trio of trolls, actually.
They're so weird. They have such a Sesame Street vibe to them.
It's also just, it looks almost like a Disney World version of Dr. Teeth.
Yeah. Oh, yes. He looks like Dr. Teeth. That's true.
I think there's a walk-around version of Dr. Teeth that they made for Disney World in the 90s, or for, I don't know, some performance or something. And
Like he was big and tall?
yeah, he was just like a mascot thing. And this kind of has that same vibe where it's a different looking Muppet. Like, we usually only see monsters, really, when they're the full-body Muppets, but this just looks like a Muppet
A big
scaled
guy.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It looks like Dr. Teeth's 3 weird uncles. The trolls do.
Maybe they are. We don't know that Dr. Teeth's not a troll.
That's true. They could all the human Muppets could in fact be trolls. But I really like the Copacabana thing.
It gets kind of sad and trippy at the end. As Lola gets older and sort of past her prime, you see Liza Minnelli performing her as like visibly drunk, stumbling around a little bit, and also just kind of out of it. And it's very interesting given both Liza Minnelli's history and her mother's history.
I didn't even think of that.
With fame and drugs and everything.
Yeah.
That it's like there, it's a surprisingly like deep moment in this otherwise kind of silly sketch. And this leads into one of my favorite moments in the episode that I don't understand why it isn't explored more.
Is it that she's in love with Zoot?
She's in love with Zoot, Sam. Liza Minnelli loves Zoot, and Zoot completely blows her off.
Yeah.
And
she walks backstage and everyone's fawning over her, and Zoot is just looking fully the other direction. And she just wants Zoot so badly.
Zoot's the only person she walks up to and says, like, how was it? Did I do a good job? And he's like, yeah, baby, you were fine. And she even tries to say, she's like, am I your sax symbol? And he's like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, he just no-sells her completely.
Yeah.
This is also the most you ever have heard Zoot talk, I think.
So far, I think so, yeah.
The longest sentence he's ever said. Very weird little scene. Also, I can't tell if this is real or in the play. I assume it's in the play, right?
It's in, yeah, because I guess the Lola sketch is sort of the play within the play.
Yes.
But this would have to be part of the play, this whole thing that they're putting on. Liza O'Shaughnessy is in love with Zoot.
Is in love with Zoot.
Not Liza
It feels
Minnelli.
like there are attempts to set up, like, suspects, but they don't ever actually explore the fact that it's a murder mystery enough for you to be like, who could it be? Is maybe what they're trying to do?
Yeah, because they also don't, like the payoff of it being Statler and Waldorf makes zero sense.
Right.
And
They're not in the play otherwise.
No, and there is no hint to, like, oh, we found this weird red piece of material that looks like the theater chairs underneath the thing. Like, these things just randomly keep happening, and then it turns out to be Statler and Waldorf. So, yeah, it is not a good murder mystery, as you said earlier.
You were saying the other day that you had never seen a Muppet use a gun. And ever since you said that, like a month ago, there have been like every episode a Muppet has shot a gun and killed someone with it.
I only said that because during the Muppet Twitter Awards, you made up a ghastly scene where Gonzo murdered you with a gun.
Doesn't seem so weird anymore, does it?
It still seems weird, Sam. I don't think Gonzo would murder anyone with a gun. Fritz, played by Julia Strangebork, does get shot and murdered with a gun. And he has a lovely little death scene that takes about 5 minutes for him to truly die.
He knows this is his only chance.
Yeah.
He's going to be stuck on Pigs in Space the rest of his life, so.
He's got to show his chops off in this, where it's like, no, look, I can do more. Please cast me in other roles.
Yeah.
But Gonzo comes in and says that the show must go on. Fritz is a director. He would not want us to stop on his account of his death. And so he encourages everyone to start singing a song called Great Day.
And they're dressed as a big choir of angels.
Yeah.
And Gonzo's wailing away on his trumpet.
And as they head out to the stage, Gonzo has a delightful line where he says, oh, don't step on Fritz.
I miss that.
Yeah. As they all, he gets them all riled up to go perform the number. And as they all go to head to the stage, he's like, oh, don't step on Fritz.
What I didn't miss is that they raise his corpse to the ceiling at the end of this, too.
That's the best moment.
It's great.
They're out there singing a delightful number where they all are dressed as angels. And at the very, very end, you just get a very limp Fritz, Julia Strangebork, raised to the heavens.
Yeah, and you'd think he'd be singing along since he's not really dead. But no, he's like in the Jesus pose being pulled to the rafters.
There's a few highlights in this episode, and that was definitely one of them, is when you see Julius's body just being raised to the rafters.
And then after that, whenever somebody dies, Gonzo flies out and starts trying to sing the song again.
They're all like, shut up, Gonzo. Now is not the time. They're okay with one death.
Yeah.
Not multiple deaths. But yeah, Scooter is the next to die because he knows who is killing everyone. And he's about to reveal the secret when a knife is thrown into his back. Liza saw something, so she tells Kermit the knife came from that dressing room. So you better go into that dressing room and check and see what happened. And he goes into the dressing room. It's dark, and he gets bonked in the head. The more you think about it, the more the mystery itself falls apart because there's no hints that would make you believe it's Statler or Waldorf.
And there could be hints abound. It could be Miss Piggy. It's in a dressing room. It could be anybody that it would logically be. But no, it's certainly no who shot Mr. Burns.
And then we get what I think is the only problem with this episode.
Sure.
We have the UK spot where Baskerville, Muppy, Lyle the dog, and Wolfhound sing Pass the Peace Pipe, which, yep, surprise, is racist.
This doesn't get a content warning at the beginning, which is one of those times where it's like, oh, okay, so you're really kind of editorializing with what you think gets a content warning and doesn't.
Yeah, this is a song that was previously performed by Rolf and Jimmy Dean on one of the Jimmy Dean Show episodes.
Did we see that?
I don't remember. I've definitely seen a picture of them wearing Native American headdresses. I don't remember if that's an episode we watched or if just a picture I have seen from an episode we didn't watch. But yeah, it's what you would expect. It's a song that they're just, it's a song from 1947 written by a bunch of white dudes. So
yeah,
it's about what you would expect. And it's just a bunch of dogs singing it. The dog puppets are delightful. Their murders are delightfully staged.
Horrifying.
Baskerville gets an arrow directly through his ears.
Right through his ears. It's so sad because he is, despite the song he's singing, and in this one he's wearing a cute little orange turtleneck and he looks great. But no, murdered horribly. There's a dog with sunglasses and a Hawaiian shirt on who looks just like Poochie from The Simpsons.
And voiced by Steve Whitmire, so he is sort of like the new cool dog character.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, this is this new kid. He's trying to make this after the lizard guy from that one sketch. He's like, okay, I'm going to try again. I'm going to put sunglasses on a different animal this time. A dog. Yeah. And I like that dog too. That is the dog that's singing the racist part of like another racist song.
Yeah, he's the one who sang the Swanee. He sang Mammy in the Swanee song. So that dog hopefully stops being racist at some point. But
this
for now,
dog is problematic, but he looks cool as hell in this sketch.
Yeah, it was one of those things where the sketch started off and there was a bunch of cool dog puppets coming out and I was kind of excited. And then they started doing like war chants and singing a bunch of different tribal names. And I was like, uh-oh, this isn't good. This is, nope, very bad. Stop. And it just kept going. And it ends with Animal getting an axe, a hatchet, right to the head. But it doesn't faze him at all. No,
he says it feels good.
Yeah.
It's perhaps releasing some pressure built up in there that he needs.
He can now speak perfect, fluent English.
Yeah. A lot of them get hatchets in the head. I don't know how Statler and Waldorf faked the hatchets to the head.
But that, again, like, where is the fiction? Like, if they're part of the play, then they are just playing murderers in the murder mystery.
Yeah.
So they arrange this prop scenario. Everyone knows it's Statler and Waldorf at this point.
Right, I suppose.
But I do like the idea of, the episode of The Simpsons where they remove the crayon from Homer's nose and he suddenly becomes super smart?
Uh-huh.
That's what I think. Like, I picture Animal. Like, if they keep the hatchet in his head, he becomes super smart. And
he'll die eventually, but he'll be very smart until he dies.
Right. And so they have to make the choice of like, okay, do we take the hatchet out or do we leave it in so we can have conversations with this man? Then we get something that you said you did not enjoy. A sweet little number between Kermit and Liza.
I just thought it was boring.
I liked it. It was a little sweet, earnest number. To me, I really enjoyed the pacing of this episode. I think it was just a perfect episode for me. And this was a nice little quiet moment. It's called The Quiet Thing, the song is. But I think this was the perfect little respite in the middle of a otherwise chaotic episode.
I thought starting here, the episode slowed down and didn't quite pick up the pace again in a way that I liked.
It does feel like maybe they had a great idea and they were like, how do we end this? And they're like, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, in a way that's like they're doing it live, but they're not doing it live. They wrote the script. They could have made sense if they wanted to.
Yeah. But it also does make sense that like Statler and Waldorf would want to kill the Muppets. But
yeah, and it would be easy to set up a fun motive for them. They could have been up in the box a few times, and then one time they suspiciously weren't up in the box or something like that.
But again, within the fiction of this, do they also go and heckle this playhouse where these, like, Fritz is putting on plays with these other actors and actresses that are also Muppets?
Or is today the day that they decided to kill all the Muppets for real, and it just so happened that all of the weapons were fake because it was a murder mystery day?
It feels more like they're trying to kill the Muppets for real.
Yeah.
I think it's an onion that we should leave unpeeled. But the canteen set is back. We get to see them actually using the canteen as a canteen, not just a rehearsal space.
Yeah.
And Lou Zealand's there, of course, to make a halibut joke.
This one was okay. It was a little different than his normal halibut joke.
I guess that's true. They ask
alibi and halibut don't really rhyme that great.
No.
Still.
No, not great. The other better joke in this section is where he dies, which is always great if New Zealand's dying. But as he dies, he yells out, "Poison!" And Bunsen rationalizes this with, well, poison's the French word for fish, so that makes sense.
I had to look that one up because I didn't get it.
Haven't you seen The Little Mermaid?
I haven't seen that since I was a little kid.
Wow. Les
Yeah.
poissons. It's the whole...
No, I couldn't tell you what you're talking about. Is it the chef?
Yeah.
Sure.
Wow. I'm kind of shocked you have not watched Little Mermaid since you were a little kid.
There's a lot of Disney movies I haven't seen in a long time. I pretty much have only seen Robin Hood as an adult.
Wow.
Basically, that's it.
Interesting. I've seen...
Should I revisit some of them?
I think they're worth revisiting. I've especially now that, not a sponsor, Disney Plus exists. You can go watch everything.
Hell, I mean, they want to kick a few bucks our way.
I feel like they maybe have a problem with some of the things we've said about Muppets. If
They
start
need to
sponsoring
hear
us.
it. They need to get Zoot bigger sunglasses.
That's the number one thing. Give Zoot
Yeah.
bigger sunglasses.
It's like the sunglasses. So like, what's the golden triangle or whatever? Like the way that the eyes and the nose are.
Right.
Like his sunglasses are a part of that they are ignoring by making them the wrong size.
If we can ever petition anyone to do anything with the Muppets, I think that's one of the things we should have some influence on, because I feel like it could be our legacy. Our little Zoot legacy.
Maybe we can start sending them some sunglasses. Just be like, maybe this one will work.
We just order a
and then-
box off of Amazon. Just
Yeah.
like big sunglasses, search, shop, add to cart, and just send them
We'll
to
send them a
Disney.
few. Wait till a Muppet Project comes out and be like, no, that one doesn't quite work. Send them another one.
I mean, I feel like we have to hurry up with Muppets Mayhem currently in the works. This is the
Okay.
time the strike while the iron is hot. But speaking of striking, everyone's dead, Sam. Everyone's dying. They're getting killed off. Everyone gets poisoned in the canteen. Gonzo again decides to come in and sing his song. And since
Tells
no one is
himself to shut up.
Yeah,
Too
no one is
grim a
there.
Scene. Yeah.
the Swedish chef completely eats it.
I love how he smashes his face into all those plates.
Well, because he still is holding out hope that it is not his food which has killed the people. So he takes a little taste off of his finger and immediately face plants into a giant stack of bowls.
Yeah. A lot of characters who deserve death are killed in this scene. Bunsen, the chef, New Zealand. They should have used this as an excuse to thin the herd a bit for real.
They actually just come back to the next episode and they're like, oh no, all those people died for real.
Just some of them. We were very careful.
But then Liza reveals that she knows the actual murderers and she's going to reveal who it was. But she gets a knife right through the chest as the lights go out and gives a Fritz-like death performance that takes a few minutes for her to finally fall down dead.
And it ends with her going, bye-bye.
Yes, after she says, good night, sweet prince. Hello, death. But then Statler and Waldorf run in and reveal that, no. They didn't want Liza to die. They just wanted all the Muppets to die. But then it all wraps up with a closing number of Liza Minnelli performing Everything's Coming Up Roses with a bunch of other Muppets just looking sweet and holding flowers.
I just thought this was kind of boring, too.
I think it's the number that lets Liza Minnelli be Liza Minnelli.
Be her Liza Minnelli-ist.
Yeah, where the other
That's
ones
true.
are sort of like her showing off her acting chops. They were like, let's show off those Broadway chops.
Yeah, that's true.
And there's a nice little detail that during this, Scooter still has the knife in his back.
Yeah, he does.
But yeah, overall, I think a great batch of episodes here. I am less worried about season 4 than I was previously.
Yeah, this was a really good one. You missed the part where she stabs Kermit at the end, and that part also genuinely alarmed me.
Yes, she asks if she can keep this prop knife, and Kermit's like, prop knife? And she's like, yeah, look. And she stabs him, and he screams out and yelps, and everyone's very alarmed, as they should be. But it does turn out to just be a joke that Kermit was playing.
Yeah. I really, really enjoyed this batch of episodes. These were good. Can you believe she was our age when she did this also? Isn't that
It is
crazy?
kind of wild. She is, she's actually younger than us when she did this episode, Sam.
How old are we?
We're 34.
Oh my God.
You forgot?
Yeah.
Yes.
Disgusting.
We're in fact, Sam, going to be 35 this year.
Yeah, we're more than halfway there.
Yeah.
Ugh. Disgusting. Horrible. I wish a Muppet would poison me.
So that means it's time for our Muppets of the Week. This week's Muppets of the Week are Bobby Benson's Baby Band and Bobby Benson himself. Bobby Benson is the balding, sunglass-wearing, cigarette-smoking conductor and guardian
Creep.
of the
Super
Baby Band.
creep.
Super creep. The babies are creepy monster babies,
Yeah.
and at least one of them at one point was Statler's grandson. Bobby Benson debuted as a whatnot member of the Electric Mayhem, playing the trumpet in the Lou Rawls episode back in season 2. And we also saw him playing banjo with Leo Sayer in season 3 before he really found those babies.
He still had the babies. He just wasn't ready for their debut yet.
They weren't ready. They had to practice more. Because the babies made their debut without Bobby Benson in the Loretta Lynn episode of The Muppet Show, where they were in the number where she's singing about having too many kids and another one on the way. That was the first time we saw their gruesome little faces. And
that was a fun little thing, but they were disgusting.
I think part of it is just like, and I know you can tell that performers are having fun, but just hearing like Frank Oz and Jim Henson just be like, it's just, ugh.
It's really gross.
It's very gross.
Some of their lips are a problem for me too. They have the most sculpted lips of any Muppet, and the fact that they all look different, like they're all different, like different people designed them or something, is also creepy. There's no coherency to any of them, so you're looking at them and getting a new horrible facet of them each time, like with each glance.
Yeah, and some of them have some wild choices made with their designs where they look a lot more unsettling than the others. But they made their debut as Bobby Benson's Baby Band in the season 3 Elka Summer episode, and that's the time where they performed 2 songs, Pennsylvania 65000 and Tuxedo Junction.
I remember liking one a lot better than the other, but it's a good gimmick.
Yeah, and I think one of them was the UK spot, but we did say that we didn't like that they did 2 numbers that were basically the same joke in the same episode.
Yeah.
As far as who their performers are, Bobby Benson, pretty simple, was performed by Richard Hunt back in the day, and more recently by David Rudman. There are a few appearances where I can't lock down exactly who performed him, sort of post Richard Hunt's death, but pre 2011 Muppets movie. It's kind of unclear when he pops up who's performing him. But we will see him and the babies again in the Muppets Take Manhattan, the celebration of 30 years, A Muppet Family Christmas, Muppets Christmas Carol, Muppets Tonight, the 2011 Muppets movie, and Muppets Most Wanted. Sometimes he has the babies in those, sometimes without the babies. The babies are performed by frickin' everyone. It is not a consistent lineup. Even back in the Muppet Show days, everyone got their hands on those baby puppets and was like, I'm a baby this week. But the full list of baby performers that I could find includes Jerry Nelson, Richard Hunt, Dave Goelz, Frank Oz, Jim Henson, Kathy Mullen, Louise Gold. That's all from the Muppet Show days. And more recently, they've been performed by Alice Dinian, Mike Quinn, Bill Beretta, David Rudman, Peter Linz, Eric Jacobson, Matt Vogel, Warwick Brownlow Pike, Andrew Spooner, Ollie Taylor, and Andy Heath. Literally anyone who's touched a Muppet before has gotten to be a Muppet baby. But not the cute Muppet babies.
No.
We have theorized whether or not these are Bobby's children in the past, and the character encyclopedia gets rid of that notion pretty quickly, saying he won the contract of the baby band in a poker game.
That's like the character encyclopedia where they make stuff up.
Well, yes. So the character encyclopedia is the thing we've referenced many a time on this show. It has some wild, quote-unquote, facts about the Muppets and their past. And if we ever get a chance to have Craig Shemin on the show, I can't wait to talk to him about that book and how much freedom he had, or if there was like a team of people coming up with these things, or if he was just like, you know what, screw it, baby band, poker game. Because it feels like he was just having a lot of fun, making up a lot of stuff, and I want to know how much of that is true. Because the character encyclopedia also states that, babies grow really fast, and so the members of the baby band have to be replaced pretty regularly.
Oh, no. It says that?
Yep. And to date, there have been 1,489 former members of the baby band.
Oh, no.
Many of whom have gone into politics.
Oh, okay, a few. At least it says what happened to them.
Yeah, there is closure. But yeah, that's kind of it about Bobby Benson and his baby band. We will see them time and time again, pretty much doing the same shtick, except for, I guess, in Muppets Christmas Carol, they are there just singing on the street corner. So if you had to rate Bobby Benson and his baby band, what are you going to rate them, Sam?
He is kind of fun, isn't he? He kind of fits into that Marvin Suggs thing where it's like, don't think about it too hard. It's creepy.
I think especially with this episode, batch where we have him getting arrested and
I think they really could have. I feel like Marvin Suggs got his moment where it was like, here's this guy's deal. We're going to really delve into it. It's fucked up. I feel like they could have done that with him in a way that in this episode, they could have done that with Bobby Benson in a way that wasn't actually creepy, but like could have been a little bit more, even made him less creepy by being like, here's what really is the deal with this baby band. The cop could have been there too, or it could have been like a social worker or something and be like, what's going on with this baby band? And it turned out that, I don't know, the babies are rich or something, like he's paying them well. I don't know. They could have done so much with him, but he didn't get that opportunity. I'm gonna have to give him a 3. I think whenever I see him, I will point at the screen and go, there's Bobby Benson. But I'm not a Bobby Benson super fan, and I hate the babies. Come on. How about you?
I'm considering changing my Muppet rating scale, Sam.
Okay.
Because I have
it's getting too confusing, huh?
It's very confusing because I'm trying to rate out of 60, and that's a very hard scale for my brain to understand. So I feel like I need either a 5-point or a 10-point kind of scale for me to understand if I'm saying this Muppet is good or not.
Uh-huh.
For now, I'm not going to change it. I'm going to think about it. Maybe I'll change it next week because I don't have another thing in mind. I might just switch to a 5-point scale like we use for the stars for the episodes.
Mine's a little limiting. Could I suggest a 10-point scale?
Should we both move to a 10-point scale?
Yes.
Are we going to stay 5 for the episodes, 5 stars for episodes, and 10 points for Muppets?
Yeah.
All right. Starting next week, the all-important rating of the Muppets will be a 10-point scale.
We're going to have to go back and readjust all the ratings.
Sam, no.
Okay.
Just use the math that I'm horrible at and figure out the percentages. I know Arden already did that in their spreadsheet that they made for us. So thankfully we have the percentage. So we're just
okay, great.
We're just figuring out the percentages and comparing the percentages,
terrific.
not the number of stars.
Thank you, Arden.
Yes.
That's useful.
The least important thing about our podcast needs to be very clearly decided. So what am I doing? Rating these babies and things.
Yeah.
I guess still on my 60-point scale for now. Oh, they're definitely worse than Sam the Eagle, so they don't get higher than 50. 39.
I can't even remember if that's good or not.
That's the problem, Sam. That's
okay.
And I'm excited because we're coming up to an era where we will have some new Muppets to talk about. We will have some Fraggles thrown in the mix. We will have some exciting new Muppets of the Week to talk about because I have tried to avoid talking about any Muppets that we haven't yet seen. So we're not talking about the Pepes and the Rizzos of the world. And so the well's getting a little dry as far as Muppets of the Week go. But I'm excited because the 80s brings in some more exciting Muppets to talk about. So before we go, Sam, I need to check in and find out if you enjoyed any non-Muppet things this week.
Yeah, we watched Death on the Nile.
Oh.
That guy, Kenneth Branagh.
Yeah.
Poirot movie. Sucked. I liked the last one, but this one just was not good. The mystery was not good. They try so hard to like humanize him and like give him this like tragic backstory, but it's dumb and it just makes him seem like inept or something. So I was disappointed. I've been excited about it because Murder on the Orient Express is so stupid and fun, but this one is just kind of like sad and not as much fun. And then last night we went to see Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yeah,
is that what?
Yeah, that's what it's called.
And that, have you ever seen Swiss Army Man?
I have not.
Same director as that. I don't even want to talk about it too much. It's just about like the multiverse and dealing with your own failure. But there's this really cool scene where there's like this monster who is like in contact with every version of itself throughout the multiverse. And it's like killing all these police officers, but it's doing it like a Looney Tunes character basically would. And it's so creepy and so cool. But I really liked it. It was very goofy. And if you've seen Swiss Army Man, you will know what to expect. But if you've never seen a movie by this directing team called Daniels, it's like Looney Tunes, but in a disturbing but also life-affirming way.
I've heard extremely good things about it.
It's really beautiful. It's like, you see these movies like this in Swiss Army Man, you see and you're like, you can make a movie about anything you want to. How come nobody ever makes movies about anything they want to?
Yeah, they just make another sequel or whatever.
Not even that. It's like you can make you can make an original movie Like, you can make a crazy movie. Nobody ever makes a crazy movie, though. They just make movies where people are, like, sitting at a table talking about stuff, you know?
Take that, my dinner with Andre.
Yeah. How about you?
I've been playing a lot of Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga.
Is it fun?
It's a lot of fun, and it's a much bigger game than I expected. Like, you can kind of fly through the stories pretty quickly if you just sat down and just played the stories. But there are so many side stories and open world type things that you can just play around in. And so sort of what I've seen people suggest, and what I think I would suggest as well, is you play through all the stories so you unlock all the worlds as quickly as possible. And then you can go back with all of your bonus characters and be like, I'm going to be the Mandalorian in A New Hope kind of thing.
Is it like the same as Lego games have always been to some degree? Where you're finding golden bricks and getting all the studs.
Collect all the studs, you get Kyber bricks.
Yeah.
And yes, it is simply that. But they also have space battles there. You get to fly around in X-Wings and stuff. And you can even, at certain points, swap out your ship. So you'll be in like a space battle as the Millennium Falcon. And you're like, you know what? I want to be flying this weird little ship instead. You can fly like an escape pod and stuff instead. So yeah,
cool.
It's a lot of fun. But yeah, on top of that, I also have been enjoying season 2 of Starstruck on HBO Max, which recently just got released.
Which one's that?
That's the one with Rose Matafeo, New Zealand comedian. She like wrote and stars in it. And it's a fun series. Season 1, basically the whole concept of the show is that on New Year's Eve, she hooks up with a guy, and it turns out he's like this Tom Cruise level actor that she just didn't even know he was famous. And so then it's navigating this life where this like not well-known funny lady who works at a movie theater is suddenly falling in love with a rich famous actor and feeling inadequate in the process.
What's that movie where that happens?
Notting Hill?
Notting Hill.
Yes.
Is it like Notting Hill?
It is, because I think Rose Matafeo is somebody who has a lot of affection for old 80s rom-coms and things. And so this is definitely sort of a love letter to those kinds of things, but with a little bit more serious tone to it. And something I like about it that I've seen, I think, lodged against it as a criticism is that it kind of is sometimes like there's not like a very clear arc to every episode. And sometimes an episode just kind of ends and you're like, oh, that's the end of the episode. Okay. But it's a very like good show to sit in marathon and like go to the next episode, because it is like sometimes, you know, you get to the end of a chapter in a book and nothing dramatic and big happens at the end of that chapter. It's just the end of the chapter. And that's sort of how this feels, is every episode doesn't have this big blowout climax. It just kind of wraps up.
That sounds like a good show.
It is
I'm
a good
going to watch
show.
this show.
But that does it for this episode of Commitment, Sam. We did it. We made it. Before we go, we need to let you know what we're watching next time. And next week, we're wrapping up November 1979 and eking into December just a little bit as we watch 3 more Season 4 episodes of The Muppet Show featuring guests Lolo Falana, Phyllis George, and Arlo Guthrie. But that's all we'll be watching. And before we go, we should thank our friend Tuna for making the music for this podcast and Cassie Wilson for singing our theme song. Don't forget to head on over to commitment.com to pick up your Commitment logo enamel pin and check out our brand new Patreon page. You can also, email us if you'd like to at mail@commitment.com if you have any questions or anything to send us, or you have some information on where we can get some Lego Muppets. And you can follow this podcast on Twitter at CommitmentPod, where every week we tell you what we're going to watch the next week, so you can keep up with us. And you can follow me on the internet at Matthew Gatos.
And I'm Sam Schultz.
And as always, keep believing.
Keep pretending.